My name is Lily. My world was turned upside down when I received the diagnosis from my younger brother, Jay. He was 26 years old and had been suffering from symptoms of fatigue, shortness of breath, and reoccurring lung infections for most of his life. After countless doctor visits and tests, we finally had a name for his condition: cystic fibrosis. Cystic fibrosis is a genetic disease that affects the lungs and digestive system, making it difficult to breathe and digest food properly. I felt helpless as I saw firsthand the toll it took on Jay's body. Despite his illness, he always maintained a positive outlook on life and never let it hold him back from pursuing his dreams. There was one thing he longed for, one thing that was on his bucket list: to talk to President Trump. Growing up, Jay had always been fascinated by politics, and he looked up to President Trump as a businessman and leader. He admired his determination and his boldness in standing up for what he believed in. It became his dream to one day have a conversation with the president and seek his advice on how to make a positive impact in the world. As his health continued to decline, I knew I had to make his dream a reality. I reached out to local politicians from both parties, determined to make my brother's wish come true. After weeks of phone calls and emails, we finally received a response from the White House. President Trump was willing to have a phone conversation with Jay. I could see the excitement and anticipation in Jay's eyes as I told him the news. For the first time in a long time, I saw a spark of joy in him. The call was scheduled for the following week, giving us enough time to prepare and make necessary arrangements. The day finally arrived, and we anxiously awaited the phone call. Jay's health had been deteriorating rapidly, and he had to be on oxygen 24/7. I sat by his side, holding his hand as the phone rang. My heart was racing, and I could see tears welling up in Jay's eyes as he heard the voice of the president on the other end of the line.
All right, Jay, you
Hey.
look handsome to me. I just saw a picture of you.
Nah.
Hello, Jay. This is President Trump. Jay's face lit up with joy as he responded, "Hello, Mr. President. It's an honor to speak with you." The president's voice was warm and sincere. "Likewise, Jay. How are you feeling today?" Jay took a moment to gather his thoughts, feeling a surge of gratitude at the unexpected conversation. "I'm hanging in there, Mr. President, taking it one day at a time." President Trump's tone softened as he responded, "I admire your strength, son. I can't imagine what you're going through, but I want you to know that you're not alone. We're all rooting for you." Tears welled up in Jay's eyes as he felt a wave of emotion wash over him. To hear words of encouragement from the president himself meant more to him than he could ever express. "Thank you, Mr. President. That means a lot to me." For the next hour, they talked about everything, from politics to personal beliefs to Jay's own aspirations. I could see how much this conversation meant to my brother, who was struggling to catch his breath, but refused to end the call. It was a conversation he would cherish for the rest of his life. Being a firm believer in equal rights, Jay expressed his concerns about the discrimination faced by people with disabilities. He talked about how he felt limited in his opportunities because of his illness, and how he wished for a world where everyone, regardless of their abilities or disabilities, would be given the same chances. "Jay, I admire your positivity and determination. You are absolutely right. Everyone deserves equal opportunities. And as the president, it is my duty to ensure that our country provides that for all its citizens," said President Trump, sounding genuinely interested in what Jay had to say. Jay then proceeded to talk about his passion for advocating for better health care for people with cystic fibrosis. He talked about the struggles he and his family faced in managing the cost of his treatment, and how he believes that everyone should have access to affordable health care. "I completely understand your concerns, Jay. Health care is a top priority for my administration, and we are constantly working towards making it more accessible and affordable for everyone," assured President Trump. For far too long, the American people have been burdened with high healthcare costs and limited accessibility. This is not acceptable. I know many of our citizens have faced countless challenges while navigating through the complexities of the healthcare system, and it breaks my heart to see hardworking Americans struggle to pay their medical bills or go without necessary treatments due to high costs, said Trump, his tone turning somber. As the saying goes, health is wealth. And I strongly believe that no one should have to compromise on their health due to financial constraints. That is why my administration is constantly working towards making healthcare more accessible and affordable for everyone, he continued. We have already taken several steps towards achieving our goal. Last year, we passed the Right to Try Act, giving terminally ill patients access to experimental treatments that could save their lives. This is just one example of how we are working towards providing better healthcare options for all Americans, Trump announced proudly, as my brother attentively listened. He went on to speak about the efforts made by his administration to reduce prescription drug costs, promote generic drug options, and make healthcare plans more transparent for consumers. Our nation's healthcare system has been plagued by corruption and greed for far too long, and it's time for a change. We are holding pharmaceutical companies accountable for their exorbitant prices and pushing for more affordable options for the American people. As a witness, I couldn't help but be impressed by the measures taken by the Trump administration in the healthcare sector. It was evident that they were committed to making a positive change and providing better options for the American people. We have also taken steps to protect those with pre-existing conditions. No one should be denied healthcare coverage because of a pre-existing condition. That is why we have put in place measures to ensure that individuals with pre-existing conditions are not discriminated against when seeking healthcare. Healthcare is not just about providing medical treatment. It's about providing peace of mind and security for the American people. That is why we are constantly striving to make healthcare more accessible and affordable for all, regardless of their income or background, Trump said, his voice filled with empathy. As the conversation shifted to politics, my brother spoke with intelligence and confidence. He was aware of the current issues facing the country and had strong opinions on them. He also shared his dream of becoming a politician one day and working towards creating a better, more inclusive society. Jay took a deep breath, gathering his thoughts before launching into the pressing issues facing the country. Well, sir, there are a multitude of challenges we're facing right now, from the ongoing pandemic to economic recovery, racial tensions, and climate change. There's no shortage of issues demanding our attention. I agree, said the president. We have faced unprecedented times, and I understand the frustration and worry that you may be feeling. But I want to assure you that I am doing everything in my power to combat this virus and protect my citizens. I have worked tirelessly with my administration to secure funding for vaccine development and distribution, as well as providing economic relief for those who have been impacted by the pandemic. Our nation is strong, and I know that together we can overcome this challenge. It is also important to address the state of our economy and the road to recovery. The pandemic has taken a toll on businesses and individuals, and we must work together to rebuild our economy. To do this, we need to create jobs and stimulate economic growth. I have proposed tax cuts for both individuals and businesses, and I am confident that these measures will put us back on the path to prosperity. But as we focus on rebuilding our economy, we must not forget the racial tensions that have come to the forefront in recent times, said my brother, with a concerned attitude. Trump replied calmly, I want to make it clear that racism and discrimination have no place in our society. I am working towards equality and justice for all, regardless of race, religion, or background. I urge everyone to open their hearts and minds and work towards a more united and inclusive America. Another pressing issue that we cannot ignore is climate change. Our planet is facing a critical moment, and it is our responsibility to take action. I have taken steps to protect our environment, such as withdrawing from the Paris Climate Agreement and promoting clean energy initiatives. But there is still more work to be done, and I am committed to finding sustainable solutions to combat climate change. I know that these challenges may seem daunting, but I want to remind you that America has always been a nation of resilience. We have faced wars, economic crises, and natural disasters, and have emerged stronger and more united than ever before. But to overcome these challenges, I need the support and cooperation of every single American, including you. Together, we can make America greater than ever before. We must put aside our differences and work towards a common goal: a better future for ourselves and our children. As your president, I promise to always put the needs of the American people first and work tirelessly to make our nation stronger and more prosperous. We have come a long way, but our journey is far from over. It is up to each and every one of us to do our part and make America the greatest country on earth. Let us remember the words of one of the founding fathers of our nation, Benjamin Franklin, who famously said, "Those who would give up essential liberty to purchase a little temporary safety deserve neither liberty nor safety." Let us not give in to fear and panic, but instead, let us come together in unity and overcome these challenges with strength and determination. Mr. President, I am inspired by your leadership, and I aspire to follow in your footsteps one day. I believe that together we can make a difference and create a better future for everyone, said Jay, his voice filled with determination. I have no doubt that you will, Jay. Keep pursuing your dreams, and never let anyone or anything hold you back, replied President Trump with a hint of pride in his voice. I lean in closer, eager to hear every word of their conversation. Mr. President, I have always been fascinated by your background and your journey to the White House. Can you tell me more about your early years and how you became the successful businessman and leader you are today? Jay asks, his voice filled with genuine curiosity. President Trump chuckled and replied, "Well, I have always been a go-getter since I was young. I started working for my father's real estate company at a young age and learned the importance of hard work and determination. I faced many challenges and setbacks, but I never gave up. And now, here I am as the president of the greatest country in the world." Jay, you have a bright future ahead of you. I can see that you are a natural leader and have a deep understanding of the issues facing our country. Keep working hard and never give up on your dreams, President Trump said, his tone filled with encouragement. A sense of pride swelled within me as I saw my brother being praised by the president himself. It was moments like these that made me realize how lucky we are to live in a country where anything is possible. I can't help but feel a surge of admiration for both men. Jay, for his unwavering determination and work ethic, and President Trump, for his resilience and perseverance. And I would vote for you in the upcoming election without a second thought, Jay replied, his voice filled with emotion. That means a lot coming from you, Jay. I am honored, President Trump answered. As the call came to an end, President Trump promised to keep in touch and offered to help in any way he could. Jay thanked him from the bottom of his heart, and I could see he was beaming with happiness. Over the next few days, Jay couldn't stop talking about the call with Trump, reliving every moment of the conversation. He was overflowing with hope and motivation, determined to make a positive impact in whatever time he had left. My brother's final days were filled with joy and peace, knowing that he had fulfilled one of his biggest dreams. However, his time was limited. Despite his lung transplant a few months ago, his body was still weak, and he had to be hospitalized frequently. During one of his hospital stays, he suffered from a severe lung infection, and his condition worsened rapidly. It was clear that his time was running out. As I sat by his side, holding his hand, he looked up at me with a peaceful smile and whispered, "I'm ready. I've done everything I wanted to do, and I have no regrets." A few days later, surrounded by his loved ones, my brother peacefully passed away. Our parents and I were sitting by his side, holding his hands and telling him how much we loved him. Suddenly the phone rang, and my heart skipped a beat. I answered the call, and it was President Trump on the other end. Hi, Lily. It's President Trump. I just wanted to call and express my condolences. Jay was a brave young man, and he will always hold a special place in my heart. I am sorry for your loss, he said, his voice full of genuine sympathy. Tears streamed down my face as I thanked him for his kind words. I handed the phone to our parents, and they too had the opportunity to speak to the president. After the call ended, we all sat in silence, taking in the significance of what had just happened. Jay's dream of meeting President Trump may have been short-lived, but it was a dream fulfilled. I am grateful that he got the chance to have a conversation with the president he admired so much. It was a moment that will forever be etched in our memories and in our hearts. In his short life, Jay taught us the value of determination, positivity, and never giving up on your dreams. He may have been a mere mortal, but to us, he was a superhero. He may have only lived for 26 years, but his legacy of resilience, determination, and hope would live on forever. And I have no doubt that he's now watching over us from a better place, knowing that his dream became a reality.